As CEO Donald Trump card reshuffles his crew of rivals, questions overflow on who will be portion of top-stakes negotiations in Polar Korea on nuke arms. During protocol of his daring at-the-spot judgment to take an invite of Kim Jong-un, news story accountable were detail the leanness of America's Polar Korea seat, that got solvent the 1 week following Trump card's cruel sackcloth of his Secretariat of Country Rex Tillerson. Down there's been lot hand-wringing of Washington's overseas politics educated people at the latter losing of specific messenger Joseph Yoon, a vet briefcase who solved to depart for private reasons following serving as spotman for Polar Korea by both of Presidents Obama and Trump card. So how the country division representative Heath Nauert fired behind eagerly while I requested her on the statute of plans to substitute him. To believe how Envoy Yoon is the just man who can knob the issues associated to Polar Korea is just erroneous, she told, indicating out how the division had lot of expert who toiled in anonymity and were not showboats. At that spot she was constrained to reject. She was offering the restrained briefcase was a transparency seeker, but didn't differently behind downward. Lot of you ask me a millionth questions on Jo Yoon, love same's the other upcoming of Christ. In the meanwhile, as Nauert sharpened of, the division's crew is led by carrier briefcase Susan Thornton, its largest elder formal on East Asiatic sphere and a Tillerson favorite. It was on his persistence the authority eventually designated her to officially get on the part for that she's been operating up, but she has yet to be affirmed by the Sinead. Down there is as well Mark Lambert, the country division's CEO for Polar Korea politics. Someone's had early negotiations expertise in Pyongyang. The absence of an envoy to southward Korea, yet, is a flagrant vacuo. The White's building party is more than eclectic and violent rather than the country division. Down there's been more skepticism on the importance of negotiations in Pyongyang, and a more willingness to believe war options should take in talks failure. The Polar Korea man on the domestic safety justice is Matthew Pottinger, a ex-reporter who inflicted a interfere in February while a southward Korean paper estimated same-day offered how a murderous nasal hit on Polar Korea would increase Republic chances in the medium terms. And down there is Domestic Safety Advisor General H.R. McMaster, someone's been the largest vocals on the opportunity of a prevention warfare to halt Polar Korea of menacing the U.S. in a nuke gun. By all accountable, he is on his way of. Later down there's at first child Ivanka Trump card, the SEO's envoy to the close of the Olympic Games and seemingly for Tillerson's dramatic leaving following months of private and politics tensions in the CEO has added an entire new standard of ambiguity to Trump card's Polar Korea gambling. The outbound Secretariat of Country has made a lot of shovel job on the. He led the accusation, rather effectively, for severe world sanctions regime. At the identical period he was an previous lawyer for negotiations, too previous and too thirsty, according to reports, for Trump card. In reality, White's building officials told the CEO's judgment to bag him now was substantially relying on the wish to include the CIA CEO and Trump card loyalist Mike Pompeo at his party for capacity talks to remove Kim's nuke arms. Pompeo is carefully through the short, but as the chief of the Central Intelligence Agency, not as the Secretariat of Country crafting a facility tactful trial. He's not precise which the selector tool for talks, but we aware how Pompeo's rhetorical has been warlike, how same's mused in social on removal Kim Jong-un, and how same's wide believed to be more than outdoor to war options rather than Tillerson was. His fans say same will set the required red channel for talks, connected obviously to Kim Jong-un how denuclearization is the just stock option, and how should public diplomacy failure, the US will instrument. His enemies say he will growth the chances of a unsuccessful summit conference and perhaps warfare. Envoy Yoon, yet, tell with hope of Pompeo's prospects. He said CNN how Tillerson's ousting would promote to the unity among the country division and White's building required for success negotiations. In an authority, thou departure to include various view, he told, yet I believe the period has go to say in one solitary united vote and how vote has to be of the CEO. And how, of year, is the largest savage map, if the CEO will job in the crew he ultimately assembles, or go on the way he begun the affair, as his own policymaker, briefcase and mediator.